Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce workshop on marketing and branding your business. My name is Chanel Frampton, and I'm the program director for GLAAACC. Our organization's mission is to educate, advocate, and empower Black business owners like yourselves. We are thrilled you could join us today for this exciting event. We have an incredible lineup of talented speakers who will be providing valuable insights into successfully promoting and positioning your company's brand. We have Kelsey Newman from Attain Marketing and Design Communications, Sheila Coates of BYOB Branding, Marquita Thomas of the California LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, Cynthia Gibson of CKG Communications, and Bonique Edwards of Kaleidoscope Marketing. Over the next hour, you will hear strategies for crafting compelling brand identities, utilizing social media and digital marketing, engaging diverse communities, and telling your brand story through effective communication. Whether just starting out or looking at to take your business to the next level, you will leave today's workshop armed with actionable tips for connecting with customers and growing your brand's reach. On behalf of GLAAACC, thank you for being here. I know our speakers have a wealth of marketing knowledge to impart, and I'm confident you will have great value in the lessons shared today. It's now my pleasure to kick things off, introducing our first presenter, Mr. Kelsey Newman of Attain Marketing. Kelsey, please take it away.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kelsey Newman. I am a design professional with about 35 plus years in graphic design. My company, Attain Design and Marketing Communications, it's a small African-American, basically African-American owned creative agency. We're a brand champion. We service our clients. We have a lot of diverse clients from educational institutions, cultural organizations, entertainment studios, city and state government, as well as Fortune 500 brands. We do in sports marketing, small minority business, small businesses, as well as up and coming entrepreneurs. You may be familiar with some of our work as being members of GLAAACC. Every year, GLAAACC is, we've worked on developing the GLAAACC Awards, which you will see, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming up for this year, where we're doing our 30th annual. I've been working proudly with GLAAACC for the last, I think, 11 years, and so it's a long time coming. But who we are in general, we're creative heroes, and we're accustomed to saving our brands, our clients from the ordinary, and we take them to the extraordinary. My brand identity is always have been a Superman. So if you ever seen my image on an ad or anything like that, it's basically Black Superman. So today, as we're talking about brand marketing and marketing communications, I really wanted to kind of separate exactly what we do and how it might be a little different from some of the other speakers. Many of us are all within those same areas, and we have our expertise. And it's so great when we all come together because we've worked together, whether it's on marketing side with Bonique. I've worked with her for ages, and just like all the other speakers, I think we've crossed paths. So today I'm really going to talk about more or less brand design. So what is brand design in general? Brand design is a little bit different from graphic design. Many times people will contact me as a graphic designer. Now, traditionally, I am a graphic designer. Like I said, I've been designing for 35 plus years as a graphic designer. And, the people want to say, hey, Kelsey, can you do our flyer? Can you do our logo? Can you do our brochure? But then where I'm coming for additional value and usually educating my clients is telling them that there is something beyond just the logo. It's not just about what something looks like, but it's also, how does it act? How does it feel? So graphic design is typically just about the visuals. Brand design is more or less about creating this special feeling, that you have. As a graphic designer, we've known to make magic. People definitely know I make magic. But when you add a good branding story to the mix, that brand can then become Disneyland. that magic becomes the most magical place on earth. So brand design is really an essential tool for storytelling. As like I said, I'm a storyteller. I'm more than just a graphic designer. I take a product and I really want to focus on what is the marketing message that communicates directly to the client. You know, what is that touch point? What is that usually you have a visual narrative that may go with a marketing ideal or a campaign. And this usually will help your customers connect with your brand to a much deeper level. Brand design, in essence, is just a kind of cool vibe that connects your business with the people that you're trying to reach. Brand design is basically that secret sauce that makes your marketing game strong. So if you typically, everyone works with a graphic designer, but if you're not really taking a brand design approach to what most of your projects are, meaning that you're not really going into the depth of the story or the why, you know, why did we decide to make this logo this color? Why did we decide to make it this font? You know, and I always tell my customers, don't focus on what you think your brand is. Ask your clients and they'll tell you better than, you know, what you know yourself. And brand design is more than just about looking good. It's about feeling good. And when you make, you know, someone, your customers feel good, they'll never forget the experience that you provided to them. My favorite quote is from Maya Angelou, and she says, you know, that I've learned that, wait, if I remember it correctly, that it's more than just making, people will never forget what you said, people will never forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that's really what brand design is. So graphic design is just simply how it looks. Marketing communications is really more or less what it says. And brand design is really how do you make them feel. So that's it in a nutshell. I'd love to give you guys more information and more details, but we only have 10 minutes on our call. So I want to give plenty of time for my other speakers. And please make sure you get in contact with me for any graphic design or branding needs or any details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. We appreciate you today. And I forgot to mention, if you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat. My colleagues will be monitoring the chat so that we'll be able to ask questions at the end to our speakers. Next up, we have Ms. Sheila Coates from BYOB Branding. Take it away, Sheila.
Mute myself. Can everyone see them?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. If we got it right. Well, good morning to everyone. I feel like I'm in church. You know how the pastor says, I got a whole lot to say, but a little bit of time. So that's where I'm feeling right now. So we're going to just jump in and hope that you glean something from this conversation. And I love what Kelsey said, so I'm kind of going to dovetail off a couple points that he made and take you a little bit deeper into the branding side and what I do. Obviously, my company is BYOB. That does not stand for Bring Your Own Booze. That stands for Be Your Own Brand. And I believe that everybody on this call is a brand. So this is about your brand and your business, you know, and branding helps you to stand out. Just like the design here, why be the typical red, the black shoe when you can kind of give them your own twist and be that one pair of sneakers that stand out? That's what we want you to do. So this slide is just to give you some examples of where I've done branding. And if you look at the record company side, that is my earlier career for about 20 something years of branding celebrities. I used to brand celebrities, making them look cooler than what they were, smarter than what they were, skinnier than what they really were, stronger. But the best artists to me are those who really tapped into their own superpower. And I say branding is like your own superpower because it's what makes you unique. It's what makes you you. The other companies on here are companies that I currently do BYOB on. I do BYOB for employees, for customer service, for entrepreneurs at AARP and various others. So this is just to give you a little bit of the scope of what I do. As with Kelsey, I like to think that branding is your uniqueness. It's kind of like your fingertips, right? We all have fingertips similar to somebody else, but then there's that one or two line. You ever watch NCI or all of those detective shows and they find that one or two lines that go a different way and then they say, you know, that's Sheila or that's Jessica. That's how unique branding is, right? So branding has the ability, as Kelsey said, to you feel it. It's creating an experience so that you influence your customer. Marketing, I like to say, is telling your customer. You're talking the talk. But with branding, you're not only just talking the talk, you're walking the talk. It's your uniqueness in a crowded world. Here's the power of branding, right? They did this test and they had the same white tennis shoe. And the white tennis shoe, when it didn't have what we know now as the swoosh, went for $15. You put the swoosh on it and it instantly went up 10 times. Now, what is that? That's branding, because they have now got you to the point where they have influenced your decision-making. Branding has the power to influence how you feel, what you experience. And so now we don't even really know what the swoosh is, right? Some people say it's the sound of the basketball, but it really doesn't matter. Whether you're in China, Hong Kong, New York, DC, Philly, if you see that swoosh, we all know you're about to do something. You know, if you're like me, if I put a pair of Nikes on and I'm on the weekend and just run around the house, I feel like I'm about to do something. That's the power of branding. It's got you engaged in thinking and believing what it is people want you to get. So if you can yell at me, please feel free, or you can put it in the chat, but you can unmute yourself for the next couple of slides to get ready. But our tagline is you speak volumes without saying a word. And so I create uniqueness for people so that as soon as they engage in either that product or that project, or even the person, you understand that you're saying something before you even open up your mouth. Do you realize that 85% of people go by what they see? So that's why it's important when you're engaging with someone like a Kelsey. What is it that you want people to see about your business? Because 85% of people go by what they see. They haven't talked to you, they haven't said anything, they just saw something and made a decision. 15% of people go by what they hear. They heard a sound, they heard a noise, they hear something, and they make a decision. 2% of people go by what? What is that 2 minutes? Does anybody know what the 2 minute is? Well, 2 minutes is the amount of time it takes for an HR person or someone that you're interviewing with to decide whether or not they think you have the job. Isn't that crazy? You don't even have to be talking about the job yet. They don't even have to get into your resume. They just talk to you for 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, they decided whether or not you should have that job. That's because, do you look like the part? Do you look like you belong here? Facebook is very big on that, because if you go into Facebook in a suit, they won't even talk to you because it's not a suit culture. The same is true for your business. Like when you walk in, do you look like the person who can handle what you said your business is about? So the question is, what are you saying with your time? Do you know that people form an opinion or analyze you within 10 to 30 seconds of meeting you? Did you see how fast that 10 seconds went by just now that I counted down for you? That's fast, right? It used to be in 30 seconds they made a decision. Now it's between 10 and 30 seconds. Why? Because of social media. It's that fast that people make a snap decision. And we know that's true, because when I got on here, you thought something as soon as you saw me, right? I see you, I think something as soon as I see you. The question is, what is it that you want people to get? What do you want them to get when they see your business? What do you want them to get when they see you? Because you can control it. It's not to be worried about what people get. It is to give them what you want them to get. And that's part of what Kelsey was talking about, is that you can design something that gives a feeling, an experience, and energy in your business. What is it you want people to get in that first 10 to 30 seconds of meeting you? Because you saw how fast that clock flicked down. That's how fast someone is determining whether or not they want to do business with you. So because I have self-diagnosed, and I'm gonna say this again, self-diagnosed ADD, I only have 3 steps. But that first one is a doozy. So it might look simple, but because I don't really like a lot of convoluted stuff, I've narrowed it down to 3 steps. And if you can get these 3, I promise you, you can put them up against any brand that you buy, any brand that you admire, any brand that you're interested in, and you can see if they do this. But the first one is to define it. You must define yourself, or someone else will. And we know this to be true. People are always trying to put people in the box. But more importantly, what is it that you want me to know about you, your business? So define it. The second part is, if whatever you say in 1, you have to be in 2. So I can't say I'm powerful in 1 and come like, oh, I hope you guys buy from me. You can't tell me you're innovative in your business or you're innovative and you don't ever create anything. You can't tell me you're detailed and things are all over the place. You can't tell me you're smart and say dumb things on social media. It all is connected. So whatever you say in 1, you must be that in number 2. And then the third part is to look that. You can bring that to life by how you design your logo, how do you design your website, all of those areas that Kelsey was speaking to earlier. There's a look to number 1 and 2. Let me just say now, the hardest one is 1, because it's not what we like to be, it is who we are. So what is it that you can define about your business in 1 or 2 words? What is it that then you can then be? And then look that part. So the ultimate question is, what's your brand? Because your brand is going before your marketing. If you can get your brand down, it will help you in your marketing because you'll be clear about what you're doing while you're marketing. It'll definitely save you money. So what comes to mind when people see you or your business? That's the question you have to answer. And that's not a soliloquy, right? That's 1 or 2 words that we're talking about that you must answer for people. What comes to mind when people see you or your business? Because we do know this, you never get a second chance to make a great first impression. If I tell you I'm a hairstylist, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna look at my hair, right? And if my hair is a mess, I don't care how many cards you try to shove down my hand and tell me to do, not so much. Now we're working behind the 8 ball because now you're trying to make that person understand, no, I really do good hair. Yeah, but if I'm a hairstylist, I've made an impression and now I got to win that back. Whatever you are, make sure you can project that every time someone sees you. And it's the power of a name. If I tell you Walmart, something instantly comes to mind, right? We know that they sell for less. We know that you expect to get it cheaper. You expect a discount. If I go into Walmart and I'm looking at Nordstrom prices, I got a problem. But if I go to Nordstrom's, I'm not expecting Walmart prices. My example in this is that they both are retailers, because it's very rare that you can be the Mark Zuckerbergs and create something that no one's ever created before. So if you're comparing or have a business, what's unique about your business that's different from another business? They're both retailers, but they're very clear. One define themselves as, we sell for less, you're gonna get good prices, it's gonna be cheap. The other one is what? Luxury and customer service. They've said that, that's how they defined it, then they be that, right? When you go to Walmart, you're not getting a luxury experience. When you go to Nordstrom's, you're going to be asked, can I help you? Can I get that for you? You feel the difference in the two. So they've defined themselves and then they have to be that, which they are, and then they have to look that. I'm gonna let that sit right there. You know what Walmart looks like. We've seen the memes, and then we know what we feel when we go inside of a Nordstrom's. That is the essence of branding, defining yourself for yourself, then being that, and then looking like that. So I feel like, again, I've gone through church real quick. That's my 10 minutes is up. But if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can either scan the QR code or take a picture of the screenshot. All of my information is there, and I would love to talk to you. But at the end of the day, like I always say, be your own brand, because everybody else is taken. All you can do is you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Sheila. BYOB. Oh, I know everyone got a lot from your presentation, so thank you. And next up, we are going to have Marquita Thomas, the president of the California LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. The floor is yours, Marquita.
Thank you so much. It still says that screen sharing is not enabled for me yet.
1 second.
There you go.
Okay, thanks so much. So let me get this presentation up. One moment. Great. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about lead generation, understanding the customer journey, also known as the AIDA model. I am Marquita Thomas. I am an award-winning business advocate. I am a marketing strategist and a public speaker. I was the executive director of a local chamber of commerce, and I now currently serve as the executive director of a statewide chamber. At my local chamber, I was able to grow that organization by 700% in membership, 2,200% in sponsorships, and 1,900% in our email subscribers. And I also have a small business, Marketing with Marquita, and I've grown my clients' businesses by upwards of 800%, all through lead generation. I'm also a public speaker, and I've spoken for AEG and Facebook, Dave App, and a number of other places on the topics of branding and marketing, as well as supplier diversity and race and society. There we go. So really quick, I just want to say who this little workshop will be for. Is for small business owners who are looking to have a clear marketing plan and objectives, who want to organically grow their brand awareness and are looking for more bookings, more closed business, and more revenue. And this lead generation works for every industry, services, products, e-commerce, finance, real estate, and more. But who it's not for are people who believe that leads come from sending cold, unsolicited direct messages and cold calling bot lists. I've never made a cold call in my life. Anyone who believes that in one size fits all marketing, or who believes that marketing is about sales but not value, and anyone who does not have the infrastructure to deliver on an influx of leads. When you have a really solid lead generation strategy, you're going to get a lot of interest in your business, calls, emails, people looking to do business with you. And if you don't have the infrastructure to actually get back to people and do the work, it's going to really impact your brand. So you want to make sure that you have the infrastructure to actually handle a large influx of leads. So when we're talking about lead generation, we're actually creating a literal funnel, and it's shaped like a funnel. You bring a lot of people into the top of your funnel, and they're going to go through a customer journey, and at the bottom, you're going to get new customers. So the top of the funnel is where people first become aware of your business. This is the awareness stage. And this is where most small business owners market their business, and they kind of just stay in the awareness stage. And this is where people find out about your business, because they obviously can't do business with you if they're not aware that your business exists. And so they may find your business through PR or through search or social media or any number of different ways, usually on a borrowed platform. And usually you're only going to get about 1 to 2% of your customers at this part of the funnel, in the awareness stage. Most of the people, or the people who engage with you in the awareness stage, are people who have an immediate need. And that's usually about 2%. But you can increase the number of people who do business with you if you continue to take them through the funnel. So once they become aware of your brand, some people will say, okay, I'm aware of you, but I've got some more questions. You know, how long have you been in business? How do you work? How do you address my pain point? How, who's on your team? They've got a lot of questions. So you want to take people into the interest stage of the model. And this is where you educate them about you and your company. You educate them about how you solve their problems, you answer their questions, you give them more information, maybe some how-to videos, some webinars. And then there will be people who say, I'm aware of your company, I've gotten the education I need, now I'm ready to do business with you. But there are still people who still have questions, or they want to now evaluate you. And that is the desire stage of the lead generation strategy. They are aware of you, they've been educated, but now they want to evaluate. They want to find out, they want to get testimonials, they want to get reviews, they want to kick the tires, really. They want to basically get a free trial. They might want to do another webinar or talk to someone at your organization. They may want to come to an in-person event. And this is the desire stage of the lead generation strategy. And there are people who will say, I'm aware of you, I've been educated about you, I've evaluated the company, I'm now ready to do business. But once people are ready to do business, they're then in the action stage. And a lot of times you can get people all the way through your funnel and it all falls apart at the action stage because it's too complicated for them to actually close the deal. So you need to look at how you're closing business. Is it easy for people to pay? Is it easy for people to sign up? Is it easy for them to get on your calendar? Because if any of those things are not streamlined, you can lose your customer there. So when you're looking at getting new customers, you have to really look at where are these people in the lead generation funnel? Are they in the awareness stage? Are they in the interest stage? Are they in the desire stage? Are they in the action stage? Sometimes when we send out our emails, for instance, we just assume everyone already knows about our company and they're ready to do business. But remember, people are coming into your email marketing system on a regular basis. You've got an email capture on your website, you go to networking events, and some of these people are new to you. So you need to, when you're doing your email marketing on your website, all the ways that you're engaging with people, you need to remember that there are different people in different stages of the lead generation journey. And you need to speak to them accordingly. And you need to also give people opportunities to get more information and to also evaluate your business. And this is mostly because people have a lot of options, a lot of markets are saturated, and people are distracted. So people need more and more information before they're ready to do business with you. But all of this begins with awareness. People have to first become aware of your business in order to go through these other parts of the funnel. Oops, sorry, trying to advance here. So I like to present this screen to people because one of the mistakes that people are making and the reason that people are not getting more leads is that they're not exploring all of the options for how to promote their business. So I encourage you to take a picture of this screen and look at the ways that you're currently promoting your business and consider incorporating some more of these elements into how you promote your business. Because like I said, obviously people cannot do business with you if they're not first aware of your business. So some people are just promoting their business, on Facebook or networking, but there's so many other ways that you can promote your business. You can do collaborative marketing, you can do webinars, you can sponsor things, you can, be on YouTube, billboards, TV ads, PR, all of these different ways. And this is the first step to getting people into your funnel. And if you remember that upwards of 2% of people will do business with you just in the awareness stage, you realize that you need to cast a wider net to get more customers. So take a picture of this screen. And this is my final slide with my contact information. The QR code here, you can scan this QR code to join my mailing list. I send out daily marketing tips for small businesses, and I will also send you a 29-page marketing strategy workbook if you sign up for the email list. And this is my email address and my phone number if you would like to contact me.
Thank you so much, Marquita. And next up, we will have Cynthia Gibson speak on CKG Communications and her public relations firm. Cynthia, the floor is yours. I can't hear you. Did we accidentally mute your phone? I'm looking for it. Hold on one second.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Let me share my screen here.
It's a little low. If you could turn it up just a little bit. Your volume is low.
Yeah. I probably am just going to have to talk louder because it's low to me too. Is this a little bit better?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm just going to talk a little bit about public relations and how public relations can help you advance your business. A little bit about my business is I've been in business for about 20 years. I am a GLAAACC member and have been for, I don't know, maybe like 15 years. I have a boutique agency in Culver City, and we specialize in branding strategies, marketing, public relations programs, press releases, media pitches, marketing plans, media plans, and mostly I do professional writing services, which kind of encompasses all of that. Clients include GLAAACC. I just finished with the HBCU transformation project. I have an aviation client, I have some nonprofit clients, some transportation clients, some municipalities, and I'm a freelance writer as well. I just wanted to kind of go over some little definitions. There's, as the people that have spoken before me was great information, but it's really all about communications, right? I mean, there's just different forms of communications. There's verbal communications, there's impressions, there's written communications, and that's kind of where publicity and marketing come into place. Now, I just wanted to kind of define, maybe you've always wondered, what's the difference between public relations and publicity? Well, publicity comes from public relations, but usually public relations doesn't come from publicity. Public relations are usually departments of a city or a person, corporations. They have public relations departments, and usually individuals like entertainers or celebrities. They have publicity, and publicity usually leads to on-air or broadcast, or just kind of mostly in the entertainment sector. But public relations is corporate business, more along that line. But public relations can lead to publicity. But that's just a little tip about the difference between public relations and publicity. To develop your own public relations strategy, you really, like the other former speakers before me have identified in their realm, you really do have to know your business. You have to define your product. As my former speaker said, you really do have to identify what pain does your product ease, what does it solve, and so that's where you create your publicity based on that. Who is your target audience? And if you say everyone, no. You really do have to get more specific than that, because if you shoot for everyone, then you're really missing a specific audience that will really needs your product or your service. And then you also have to know what differentiates your product and service from people that are in the same industry as you are. That's very important when you are developing a public relations strategy, to be able to differentiate your unique selling proposition. And also, you have to know your own story. And people often underestimate what their story is. It could be, how you started. I mean, people are interested in stories. I mean, when you read something on the internet, it used to be the newspaper, that opening paragraph always told you a little bit that captured your attention. And that's what you want to do. You want to tell your story to bring in your target audience, to capture their attention. Now, your story plus media trends equals media coverage. I just finished with working with the HBCU Transformation Project, and we had their story was they had $124 million investment, and they wanted to let the public know about it. And we were kind of trying to strategize when would be the best time to release the information. And we thought, well, it's an HBCU, it's higher education, so it probably would be, you know, graduation or back to school. Well, we just got started in April, so when we got to the, you know, graduation point, we really weren't ready, so we had to kind of wait till back to school came. And so you really, and then we got on the trend. That's because what happens is there's trends. There's like, you know, back to school, entering college was a trend. And so when that happened, when people were entering schools, that's when we released the information about the $124 million was donated to HBCUs. And then we were able to craft stories based on that and then get a lot of media coverage on that. So, you know, whatever your product is, it might be something that's, you know, happens that catches people's attention during the holidays, or it might be something that's, you know, back to school, or it might be something that's Mother's Day, or you know, whatever. There's different trends. Technology is a really big trend now. If you have anything about, you know, I think the union strikes, you just have to figure out what the media trend is, and then connect how that works with your product to get, you know, publicity on coverage on television or newspapers or broadcast. And you have to figure out what story of all the stories that you have about your business and about yourself, what will attract the attention of your target audience. And it also has to be something that's not, it depends on, you know, what kind of media you want to get. But if you want to, you know, get on Good Morning America or even Good Day LA, it has to be something that will attract a lot of people. It will have to be interesting to millions of viewers. And there's always that story. I mean, you could take one little thread and then extrapolate it into something that's going on into the media, so, and get publicity that way. And you just have to figure out, you know, your listeners, you know, consumers of news, so you pretty much know what's trending and how your product or service kind of can fit into that. So, and also another thing you can also do is be a subject matter expert and position yourself that way. So, you know, if you're a technology, if you know about AI, if you know about hair or whatever it is, you can position yourself as a subject matter expert. And then when something comes up, then you can actually insert yourself or, you know, put out your press release or your media alert on that, and also pitch yourself as a subject matter expert to publications, to podcasts, to social media, to whatever, to, you know, to get the media that you're thinking that your product deserves. And also, you know, significant holidays plays a factor in that too. So as far as pitching yourself to the media, if you're going to do it via like email or even on social media, you have to have like a catchy subject line. Maybe it's a question. Maybe it's something that, you know, you've seen the headlines that you're on social media and you're looking for one thing, and 30 minutes later you've gone down the rabbit hole. That's because someone had a catchy line that caught your attention and kind of pulled you in. And that's what you need to do when you're trying to pitch the media on opening your press release or whatever your information to read it so that you can tell them about your story. So you have to actually also know who you're pitching to. If you're pitching to the grill or the root, it's different. You know, your pitch is different than if you're pitching to an assignment editor at AP or the Wall Street Journal. So you really do have to know your audience and also their position. Are you pitching to an assignment editor who takes in all information and, you know, divvies it out to different reporters? Or are you talking to the reporter themselves? Say you saw something, a podcast, or read something online, and you got the author's name and you want to pitch them, then you really have to have read something that they, you know, when you pitch them, you have to kind of include, well, I read this, and I think that since you write on higher education, I think that you'll be interested in this. Or, you know, I saw your, you know, your article on natural hair, and I think that you'd be interested in this product that, you know, that I have done, or something like that. So you really have to have read the information that you're trying to pitch to the reporter and kind of talk to them, you know, on the where they come from, and they'll really appreciate that, because they will appreciate that you have taken the time to research who they are and that you're pitching to them, because you know that they're interested in what your, you know, product that you're trying to promote. And it's all about, I really want to emphasize this, it's all about appealing to the media outlet and their audience. So if you want to get on A Good Day LA, or if you want to get on the Steve Harvey Show, or whatever it is, and you think, I really want to do this because this will really help me, this will really help my product, I listen to them every morning, I've done this, I read this, and you're thinking about how they could help you, and you pitch that way, it's not going to work. You have to think about their audience, because if it's something that's happening daily, if they're a daily podcast or a daily radio station or a newspaper or whatever, they're hungry for information, but they need information that their audience will really be excited about, so their audience can, you know, tune in. So it's up to you to help them with what they want to do, and then they will help you. And you can come back time and time again if you become a resource and they know that you are really, you know, promoting things that are interested in to their audience. And the first two lines of your pitch are crucial. So whether you're direct messaging someone in their Instagram or Facebook, or sending them an email, those first two sentences about, you know, I've read this and I think that you'll be interested in that, that's really important. And I just want to say this whole presentation is part of a larger presentation, so I'm kind of going over just what I thought were the highlights that would be kind of helpful to you right now. So now you know who you are, you know the media that you're going after, you know how to pitch them. So how do you contact the media? Well, you can do it, as I said before, you can, you know, actually you can, it's easier now than ever. You can actually direct message them in their Instagram, or you can send them an email, or usually if it's a reporter, usually at the end of the article, they'll have their email address, or they'll have their Twitter, or it's X now. So maybe you can, you know, direct mail them through their X. And I think I have done both. I've sent them an email, then I've sent them a direct message through X that I sent them an email. You can cover both bases that way. There's news wire services, and a news wire service is kind of like AP is a wire service. Blackmedia.com is a wire service, and it's really helpful to send out your information through a wire service, because you as a content provider are giving them information, and then content providers subscribe to the wire service to look at different things that they can put out to their audience. And so if they see, you know, your article or whatever, your information, then they can, you know, pick it up there and disseminate it to their audience. But you only did it once. You sent it to the wire service, and then people that subscribe to the wire services are putting it out to their audience. That's really an effective way to do it. Most of the time it's paid though, so you know they're not going to give you their audience for free, but it can be worth it. It can be worth it because you can get millions of people to view your information through a wire service. You can also develop your own personal media, media databases. If you're a constant consumer of information like I am, you're constantly taking down maybe the name of the reporter or the name of the podcaster, or if you have, you're on X and you see a certain, a name, you take those down, and you can, just keep developing those relationships with the people that you want to get your message through. And last but not least, there's help a reporter out. And I always give out this tip because this is such a great outlet for people. It's kind of like a wire service, but it's free. You sign up for their email, and what happens is this person has consolidated all these reporters, and those reporters say, I need someone who's an expert in, dieting. I need an exercise expert. I need someone who knows this and this. So he consolidates all these inquiries that reporters are looking for. You click on it and you read what the reporter is looking for. And if it's you email the reporter back and say, I'm an expert in XYZ and this is why, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people have gotten out their message and also developed relationships with the reporters through Help a Reporter Out. I know that I was able to get a client on Essence because Essence was looking for something about natural hair, and I knew that my client was a lawyer, and she knew that and she wore her hair naturally, and so I was able to kind of connect those two, and she really got a good piece out of that. So helpareporterout.com. It's it's an easy way to look for filtered inquiries from reporters. So in summary, I just wanted to summarize some of the things I've come up with. The marketing and branding, it's all about communications, all of us, this whole thing. I mean, whether it's a branding or visual or spoken or just kind of, intuition, it's all about communications. Know your unique story and be able to tell it well. Look for media trends that you can promote your product through. It's always easier to promote what you're trying to say to the media if it's something that's already trending. Like if you're talking about picketing, or unions, that's a hot topic now. AI is a hot topic now. If you have anything that's kind of related to that, it's easier to get that picked up because it's already something that's trending in the news. Create your own go-to media list because you've been looking at the podcast, the emails that you've been getting, and broadcasters and reporters and everything. So you make up your own list and have it a go-to list. Strategically pitch reporters, bloggers, assignment editors, and then develop your own media relations strategy based on your goals, and then also follow that plan. So this is kind of a quick overview. I know I've gone through a lot. I've given you a lot of information, but if you have any questions, or if you want to contact me, or if you want to go over some pitches that you have, or I can listen to you and give you some tips on pitches that I think that would work for your product or business, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, and thank you for presenting today on public relations. It was excellent. And last but not least, Bonique Edwards will be speaking on kaleidoscope marketing. All right, Bonique, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. We may go for a couple minutes, but I respect everyone's time. So if you need to leave exactly at 11, that'll be fine. I'm going to pull us all together with talking about social media specifically. And then what I want to do is in the chat really quick, you see an A, you see a B, you see a C, and you see a D. What I want to know is what is their story? So you've seen the common theme that Sheila and Kelsey started talking about is what is their story? So in the chat, kind of just tell me, what do you see as their story? What type of people do you think they are? So what type of business are they in? In the chat, tell me what sort of business you think these people are involved with. Perfect. So Jessica says A is a family-owned business. Awesome. Thank you. Wendy says A is fashion. Absolutely. They do some sort of fashion, tailoring, what's going on. Linda says A is clothing. C is probably somebody who's involved with desserts. In fact, she's the co-owner of Southern Girl Desserts here locally. So part of the idea where Sheila was talking about is you need to look it. So these people have defined their brands and then now they're looking it. If you look at D, maybe like a law firm, right? Super conservative, government. I love that, David. Thank you. If you look at B, maybe like an entertainment company or something with marketing or PR, design firm, exactly. So this is an example where Sheila's talking about is once you define it, how do you be your brand and what is your story? So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. And it starts with, I am a huge snowboarder. I love snowboarding. I'm also middle-aged. So one day I'm at the mountain and there's two much younger men and I'm hanging out with my friends. And this young guy turns around and he says to me, dude, how old is your snowboard? And I looked at him and I said, it's about 10 years old. And he says, do you know how much the technology has changed? Is that like the first snowboard ever made? And so in an effort to protect my youth, I went out, bought the most high-tech, fancy snowboard I can do. My company, Kaleidoscope Consulting Group, helps businesses and organizations transform their digital platforms that look really old, like my snowboard. So my job is to help them use all the technology to do so they don't look old. And as we go through this presentation, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So the first thing is that you want to follow the 3 E's: engage, educate, excite. That's what your social media pages should do. How do I engage people? How can I educate them about something new of what's going on? Or how can I excite them? If you're following the 3 E's, it's going to help you get there. Some tips. So as you can see, the first picture of me had a picture of a hashtag. So I'm showing what I do. The next picture has pictures of me in social media. So I am doing what Sheila says, which is I am looking the part. You need to figure out how you're going to graphically tell your story, and you're going to avoid long biographies on your images. Everything is video, 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 video. More video, more video, and more video. You can take still photos and make a video, but the movement of the video is going to grab their attention. People respond to people, not things. So showing a bunch of buildings is not going to get you anywhere. Showing yourself, showing pets, showing kids, that's really important. Now, keep in mind, before you start showing your kids, your grandkids, or whoever they are, I still need you in it, because your brand is still who you are. So if I were to show my nephews on my personal social media page, no one knows who they are. People are following me because they're interested in me. They're not necessarily interested in my nephews. Now, if I'm doing something with them, that's great. You want to make sure that you are not doing too much text on the photos. And more importantly, if you do not own the photos, it is not okay for you to take a photo off the internet and then put it online and use it as your own without some sort of credit. So I want you to keep those things in mind. In terms of rules of the road, you want to kind of keep it real and keep it authentic. You want to watch, you want to listen, you want to figure out how you can engage in the conversation, and you want to use imagery that actually moves the needle. So I love this post. It's a woman. She's got her 2 dogs out there. She's ready for Halloween. She's getting ready for it, and she's engaging in the conversation. There are absolutely rules of the road. So one is you want to be consistent with your voice, your tone, and as we've been talking about all day, your brand. What is your brand? So what I mean by that is you need to figure out what your social media brand is. For example, my brand is happy, happy, joy, joy. When someone dies, I'm not posting about it. I could be sad, I can cry here at the house, but I'm not posting about someone's dying. I don't care who they are. That's not my brand. When my father died, no one saw a post about it, because the brand that I do for online is happiness and joy. It is not death and depression and everyone call me and like, but it could be for you. So once you identify what your brand is, then you need to act transparently, ethically, and authentically. People are not buying widgets. We're buying personality. So if you know what your story is, that's going to help us get to how do we buy personality. No one wants to read all this text on their post. So you want to make sure you are minimizing the text that you put on your post. When people do all these things with all these images, unless you are like Oprah Winfrey, there's no need for people who are going to read all this content. The second thing is flyers are not a thing in 2023. So we used to design flyers and we used to go out and actually hit the streets and hit the pavements and do so. I hope nobody on this call did this Taste of Soul flyer. It's awful. It's hideous because it's got too many fonts going on. It doesn't have that sort of like magic factor that Kelsey was talking about. There's so many competing images. And then there's all these sponsors here. So when you put this onto your mobile phone, in order for me to see it, I'd have to expand and contract. If I have to expand and contract on the phone, that means your font sizes are not ADA compliant Americans with Disabilities Act. I should be able to see the graphic really crisp and clean. So when we started doing this, and I love GLAAACC, and I've been working with GLAAACC for years, they gave me a lot of images and a lot of graphics. And I said, please send me all the graphics of all the presenters. And I kicked this back to say, each presenter should have their own image so they can market it on their own pages. And then I created a special page for sponsors only. If you do something where you want to involve your sponsors, every sponsor doesn't necessarily get access to your social pages. That's what websites are for. So you can actually divide up and say that all the important stuff should be, all the details, all the nuts and bolts, all those things should actually be on the website, not your social media post. So you want to make sure you're keeping the graphics clean, simple, to the point. They should absolutely answer the who, what, when, where, why, right? So if you look at this one, we've got Felicia Rashad, Harriet Cole, it's Facebook Live, it's AARP. All the details are going to be on the website. We do not put it on the actual graphic. The angles of your photos actually matter. The reason why people love selfies is because I can see your face. When you see big things like I Love Nice or the Taj Mahal, there's no need to go stand in front of it. It's already big. If you stand 30 or 40 feet away from the large object, then you can see my face up close and you can see the large object in the back. So going to stand behind on the left picture, you cannot see my face because I'm standing right next to the object. The key is to stand far away from the object. Okay, I got to move fast because I know I'm running out of time. Tagging is super important because that's how you communicate what's happening. So when we did this, I tagged every presenter on the call, including GLAAACC, and then some of them reposted my imagery because I used the tagging. Tagging also works, building on what Cynthia said, is I have a client that wanted to give away free food for first responders at Kaiser. And I told them to go an hour beforehand, give them the information, and tag all the local news outlets. Those local news outlets, if they're having a slow day, showed up and recorded my client. So you tag people to say, hey, this is what's going on, and you could get press, PR, or you can let other people know what's happening in the tagging. Here are my favorite tools. All right, so sending it all out, you can schedule it on Hootsuite, buy those images for iStock, do videos on promo.com, Canva for graphics and videos, remove.bg helps you remove, you see this white box around the image, the remove.bg will help you remove the white box around it. It's free, it's online, you're good to go. And then I'm going to go to questions because I know I'm out of time. And I believe, Jessica, you're going to open it up for all questions for all of us, or Chanel?
Yes.
Yes,
If you'll
thank
stop screen
you.
sharing, that'll open all the cameras back.
All right, perfect.
Thank you so much, Monique. So now we are at our question and answer portion. So does anyone have any questions for our speakers?
Well, that was easy.
Talking?
Don't all speak at
Can I
once.
just start talking?
I'm sorry?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Is it okay to just start talking? I was trying to
Yes,
be
go ahead,
quiet.
Charlene.
And my question is specifically for Monique. Hi. So as part of your business, do you run like whole social media marketing campaigns for a small business?
Yes, so we specialize in doing that, and we do mostly service businesses. So we are not experts for social if you have like a product or a widget, because it requires a lot more advertising dollars, et cetera. But we run the social pages for the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, which is here in LA. We run it for a lot of nonprofit organizations, so we manage all their social platforms.
Okay. I will not use this as my personal consultation. I will follow up with you offline.
No problem.
Does anyone else have a question? For
I
any of
also
our
want to
speakers?
state that with GLAAACC sponsoring, GLAAACC had me do 2 30-minute presentations on social media for business owners. And if you go to YouTube, you can access that.
Here's a question for you. What's the difference between the @ symbol and the hashtag symbol?
Absolutely. Okay, so the @ sign is the tagging. So when I did all this, I tagged all the other speakers, and then like Marquita forwarded my stuff and Sheila forwarded my stuff. That let them know, hey, I'm talking to you. The hashtag is like an indexing system. So imagine if I said, let's go to the library. Imagine we didn't have the Dewey Decimal System. And I said, find the autobiography of Malcolm X. We wouldn't be able to find it because there's no Dewey Decimal System. The Dewey Decimal System says, go to autobiographies, go to the African American history section, and then look up Malcolm X in that section. So the hashtag is just a way to index. If we decide that we're going to Hawaii tomorrow, we can put in a hashtag for Hawaii, and all the people who have all this information on Hawaii, their trips, their visit, all that data then aggregates, and then you could say, wow, these are some things I want to do. If we want to say that we are going to New York next week, and we can put in New York restaurants, all the New York restaurants will then show up, and we could go, oh, I want to go here, I want to go here. So the hashtagging allows you to aggregate all the data, and it all comes in one place for you. It's like it pulls everything together and puts it into your box. Did I answer your question, Ina?
Okay, now I understand what hashtag does. Tell me more about the @ symbol.
Okay, so the @ symbol is what I'm going to use to, one, say, hey, I'm doing this. I want GLAAACC to know that I'm promoting this. It lets me know, Cynthia, hey, I'm promoting us for this event that I'm doing. Or I can, like Cynthia was saying, I could tag the news. So if I felt like we were doing a big event and it was a huge thing and we wanted news coverage, I could promote my event and tag the local news coverage, KTLA local, Channel 9 local, LA Times local. And then I am basically tagging them. It shows up on their phone and they go, oh, Bonique and Cynthia are doing this event. They're at the mall. We have a free day. We could stop by. So it basically is like me calling you on the phone or sending you an email and saying, hey, I'm going to be here. But it all happens with the tag. It's just a notification of what I'm doing.
Okay, so do you group all your hashtags together and then all your @ together when you're?
Yeah, so I'm tagging the people who it's relevant to. I don't just tag random people, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then my hashtags, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to use a hashtag that either I'm doing a promotion. So for example, my sister and I did a combined birthday party years ago. If you go to hashtag Bonique and Belva, all of our pictures will show up for that. So that's a hashtag. It's a custom hashtag. But for example, in the year 2000, the most common hashtag was Black Lives Matter because we saw everything happen with George Floyd. So then if I put in the hashtag Black Lives Matter, it's trending, all the data from there comes through. Now people overuse hashtags and make them up. So we recommend 3 to 5, and you should combine a combination of what's trending and then what is something custom for you.
Okay, thank you.
And then Vivian, you said, are the symbols done? The hashtags can be done in all the platforms. My favorite platform to use them in is TikTok. If you're on it, because TikTok is like YouTube on steroids. It's amazing. It's like the best thing because all the content comes up. So if you want decorating ideas, you can put in modern decorating ideas. You can do whatever you want with hashtags, and then it just brings everything right to your face.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I noticed you spoke of Hootsuite. I know when Hootsuite came around originally, there was issues where each platform is kind of different, so that requires different type of content. Is there improvements on that now with Hootsuite?
Hi, Ilya. I actually use Loomly personally, but it is challenging. And so when we talked about this idea of the flyer, right, you actually need to create graphics and you need to customize them to the different templates. And that is the challenge because, for example, an Instagram post, which is 1080 by 1080, is different than an Instagram story, which is different than an Instagram reel. And so those things have to actually get resized in there, which is why instead of doing a flyer, you should say, our company is going to focus on these platforms. These are the sizes. And then you tell your graphic designer, like my office or Kelsey's office, these are the platforms that we post on. Because every company and organization, like I don't tweet. Once the whole Elon Musk thing came, I don't tweet, so I don't worry about that. So you guys have to decide what is your priority, what is your strategy, and then you tell your graphic designer, these are the platforms we want. This is the content we want. And then what happens is platforms like Canva.com or promo.com allow you to resize based upon the platform. But Hootsuite can't do that for you. Hootsuite just allows you to put everything together so it posts automatically. So for example, Halloween's coming up, Dia de los Muertos is coming up. My team has already scheduled some of those posts in advance to go out. Things that happen in real time, like news, that's going to happen in real time and you wouldn't use a Hootsuite for. You're only using it for content that is not necessarily time specific, but you do have to customize it for the platform. And it's a pain in the butt. Sorry.
I have a question. This is Linda Morgan. Is there a tool available for brand, what's the word I want to use? Brand, to look at a brand that's been in existence for 5, 10, 15, 20 years to see their relevance today. For example, if a company's been here and they've had their brand for 20 years, is there some tool that they could acquire, or is that a service that any of you do to reevaluate that brand?
Kelsey, you want to take that?
Well, yeah, I mean, in general, I wouldn't say necessarily as a tool. There are some tools out there, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but I would love to share them with you that will just kind of go over and do some assessments on there. But in general, I think it's by just contacting one of us as brand professionals that we will just kind of take you through a process of, and are you speaking in particular like for your own brand, or you know, like a Nike? Are you just trying to see the history of
for small business brands?
Small businesses. Okay, so just really it's a consultation and an assessment. Yeah, so I would just say probably contacting any of our companies would be able to give you that type of assessment from different aspects, whether it's from a PR or whether it's from a marketing, whether it's more or less the brand marketing, or if it's a design perspective that you're looking at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Are there any other questions?
We have one in the chat from Gerald, and it says, how important is brand color in connecting with people? So we can just open that up to the panel.
I think it's very important. One of my clients is CAA, and they do a lot of work globally. And they had a possible pitch for a client who played soccer in Korea, and the CAA brand colors are red. However, red doesn't translate the same way in Korea. So they had to work to rechange the presentation to actually reverse the colors out, so it was more appropriate. So I think the brand colors are very important based upon where you do business, the cultural nuances, etc.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I agree.
I just learned just most recently working with a dentist, national, international dentist, is that they do not use the color red in that vertical. So the colors are definitely important.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I saw that Tony had their hand raised.
Looks like in the comments they asked, what does Threads do?
I posted an answer back to Tony.
Yes, so that answer is in the comments. Thank you so much.
Well, if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and steal this part of the section of the show. Good morning, everyone. My name is Naomi Scott. I'm the Director of Operations, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Definitely want to give a shout out to all of our speakers and thank them for their time. Kelsey, Cynthia, Bonique, Sheila, and Marquita. And we just want to thank you for your time and the tips that you provided. I know that a number of people will be reaching out just to make sure that they have their branding on the right page going forward as we close out the year and going into a new year. I also like to take the moment to thank our Chairman Circle sponsor for putting on today's event. It's a number of sponsors that help us throughout the year that allow us to bring GLAAACC and the AMs to all of you. And so thank you for that opportunity for our sponsors. I'd like to give a shout out to the GLAAACC Glam Squad, President Angela Gibson, Director of Programs Chanel Frampton, and our Special Events Coordinator Jessica O. Davis. And Jessica shared the screen with you all with some of our upcoming events. These will take place on Zoom. The first two, our member meetup, is a small intimate setting where members of the chamber, new members, get the opportunity to introduce themselves. It is on Tuesdays, last Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m. and it's on a Zoom quite like this. We get an opportunity to hear what's hot, what's new, and learn a little bit about some new businesses. And you can register for that event on our website. We also have another GLAAACC in the AM featuring Wells Fargo and some other financial products that will be taking place on Wednesday, November 1st. We ask that you guys join us for that as well to get some more tips on technical assistant opportunities that we provide through the chamber. And then the last one that you see here on the screen is our holiday mixer on December 6th. We will be in person. We are still finalizing the location, but look to have you join us for our holiday mixer. We have the opportunity to donate to a few organizations, get a chance to see one another, and celebrate in that season. I also like to reiterate, if you are not a member of GLAAACC, we ask that you take a moment to see the value that you got out of the program today and programs that we have coming up. You can become a member of the chamber for $125 annually, and it allows you to reap some of the benefits of connecting with fellow members, introductions, and as always, GLAAACC is here to educate small businesses, equip you with tools and resources, engage you with procurement and opportunities, and empower you to do the work that you're doing. And thank you for your time. We will open it up for any additional questions, but here at GLAAACC, we always do like to donate some of your time back. And so thank you to all of the speakers. If there aren't any other questions, any other announcements from my team, I will pass it back over to Chanel. Thank you all.
Thank you, Naomi, and just thank you again to all of the speakers. And on behalf of GLAAACC, thank you for attending and participating. We wish you tremendous success in leveraging your business, and we wish you to have a wonderful rest of the day. So thank you all, and we'll see you at the next GLAAACC in the AM.
And I do have one last thought. Jessica is always reminding us, if you're not following us on social media and all of our pages, definitely follow us today, as well as all of our speakers that were here today. I know that the content that they put out is really fabulous. So follow us at GLAAACC. We are 3 A's and 2 C's for our website, GLAAACC.org, and on most of our platforms as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.